get started. Your name sounds familiar. I might have played up against you. Do any of these guys look familiar? No? No, they don't. Maybe, are you an EU or an A? Because I thought your name sounded familiar, but I don't recognize any of those names. So initial positioning here is fine. It's a little bit more defensive, but it works. I'm not really up to date on what all the new meta Tracer starting positions are, but this seems fair enough. You're able to drop into the enemy team safely. You're in a situation where you have multiple escape routes with health packs. You have a sightline on the enemy team that would force them to use a cooldown to reach you, and you're not so far away that your damage would be, you know, suffering immensely. So, peppering some damage is fine. Winston's going in. I don't really like this here. So the first thing I don't like about this is you have to ask yourself, as a Tracer, what can you contribute to burst here? What can you contribute to peeling? Tracer is one of the worst healing heroes, or peeling heroes in the game. Tracer is really not the best peeling hero. She gets scuffed by bubbles and armor from tanks that usually dive a lot more. And you can usually find more value by pressuring their own backline than peeling for your own, because you don't really have any cooldown that assists your team. You don't have a flashbang, you don't have a bubble, you don't have matrix, you don't even have something like a healing station that a soldier would be able to provide. So thank you for the follow. Being able to peel as Tracer is not on your priority list, especially when two tanks have used their cooldowns. Zui M767, thanks for the follow. Is usually not your best. It's usually better to pressure their supports, not even overly extending to get a pick, but you're there just to pressure them enough to basically not support their team. So even though you're not going to be able to necessarily get a kill on the supports, if you can pressure them so these two don't get any support, don't get any healing, then you've done your job. In addition, one more thing I want to say before we harass you too much here is you have to ask yourself, you had to use a blink to get here, right? You had to use a blink to get here. And sometimes in some situations, depending on how far away your supports are from you, you'll have to use more than one blink to peel for your supports. So not only are you, less capable of using or defending your supports, you're also forced to commit a lot more cooldowns and resources to initiate than just to drop off and shoot the supports, right? You're usually in a position to hurt the enemy supports. And so if you're trying to peel, then you have to use a lot of resources to do that. And that's obviously not a good trade. In fact, it looked better than most gold console aim, I would say. Congratulations. You might kill the Winston here. No, you don't even kill the Winston. Okay, a lot of things have happened here. This is important, okay? Their executed dive has resulted in the death of both of your supports, right? So nothing you can do about that, really. Your Genji has killed their Ana. This elimination likely would have happened significantly faster if we had assassinated the Ana with our Genji, correct? We would have been more efficient with that, and we would have been able to continue to support our team through removing. So if you kill our supports, we kill yours, right? And that's not a bad trade, because on defense, the enemy tanks have to use cooldowns to get to you, right? And so your tanks and your supports just have to use cooldowns to survive. That's all they have to do. Marcus, thank you for the follow, mate. So now we're stuck. Now we don't know what to do, right? So our initial decision to peel has screwed us over. I'm going to analyze this stuff. What is this blink here? That blink is fine. The optimal goal is to always synchronize your blinks, when she's firing, and then, use your bullets when she's reloading, kind of a thing. Which doesn't always happen.
Yeah, not at all.
You need to die. You're not going to survive unless you win this 1v1, which is... Nice. So, I'm not the guy to basically tell you, outside of past diamond or even masters, it would be difficult for me to give you the basics or the 1v1s or really critique your Tracer one-on-one. But I didn't see anything that stood out to me here. My job is not to tell you how to tricks and tips on how to beat a Tracer 1v1. My job is to tell you what you're doing and contributing to the team fight wrong. And while you've only made one error, it was significant enough that it could have contributed to this loss here. Both of your supports dying instantaneously, that doesn't help, right? There's not a whole lot you can do about that. But if we pretend a scenario where your supports don't die instantaneously, but the tanks that do dive into your team continually get supported because you're trying to peel on targets that you're not very good at killing, then that is going to be a problem. And that is going to be a factor in other games where you lost. And we're going to see if this is a continual problem. This was a really nice assassination. Unlucky. Probably won't punish you. You got close spawn, and they had to chase you pretty far back. That was a little bit traumatizing. What was that? Diva's rump. All right, so again, pressure. Like looking at this here, what do we pressure here? Well, if we can draw resources from our Lucio Ana, that would be fine. If we can pressure any one of these three, that's fine. We need to try and look to isolate these two. Hang on, these two. And chances are, I'm getting a feeling, depending on how good this Lucio is, it's probably going to be this one, because Lucio is probably going to be puppy guarding Ana for the most part. So you need to try and see if you can isolate the Hanzo, and if not, continue to just harass the Ana. Try and maybe get amp out of the Lucio, whatever you can do. Yikes. Okay, again, I question, what is our target priority here? Why are we going for a tank? Do you see how that entire clip and nothing, you didn't accomplish anything with that entire clip? Especially now that you have pulse, we need to be looking for a play here. And for, shooting a Winston bubble with their other easy targets to kill, that is an error. That is a huge error. And that's the second time we've seen this error, which, as you know, is what we're trying to spot out. We're trying to spot out what is the problem with your gameplay, and it's becoming more clear. You see this? Meanwhile, that Hans is just free firing on you. Do you see how hard you are? Look at what you're doing. Look what you're doing here. This blink was completely unnecessary. You see this? You know why why did you blink there? Why did you blink there? There's a reason why, but it's unnecessary in a different way. You blinked there because somebody was firing at you, right? Somebody was firing at you. The backline. The backline, which has been almost completely uncontested this entire fight with pulse bomb. With pulse bomb. Keep that in mind, okay? Completely uncontested. So do you see how hard this makes your job? The entire time, you're basically 80-80 strafing, blink moving, blink juking, blindfolded. Because at least when you duel the enemy team, yeah, there's a chance you're going to die or get shot. Absolutely. But at least you could see it. You could see what cooldowns they have. You could see them looking at you. You could decide when and where I need to blink. You're just guessing here. So not only are you being inefficient with your target choices, you're putting yourself at more danger than you would be if you would be on the backline. Difficulty isn't too hard, but the graphics are pretty cool as long as they wear the special headgear. Oh man, I hate that new Winston bubble effect. Yeah, it's cancer. It's one of the worst visual effects I've ever seen in any game. Like not worst visual effects I've seen in any game. It's the worst patched in visual. It's like why would you do that? Like what on earth would possess you to do this? You need to grab Mega. Okay. We still have done nothing with our pulse bomb. And now we're gonna take a Lucio duel. No! Oh! Nice. Oh my gosh. I don't think you're going for them either. Never mind. I was about to compliment you. You weren't going for them. You're going for the Lucio. Lol. You're going for the Lucio. Sticks. What a meme, dude. Alright. Well, we held on to that pulse bomb for about a year. Like, you could have honestly just stuck the Diva mech as it was being demeched and get the baby Diva, just not even mess with her. Everybody knows how annoying a baby Diva is, especially as a tracer. Yikes. So, that pulse bomb was clutch. Very well done. Was it luck? Yes, it was definitely luck. Was it close to the Lucio? Yeah, it was definitely close to the Lucio. Was it executed well? Yeah, I'd say it was executed well. Was it successful? Accidentally, yes. But the entire time... Well, I don't know what Winston's doing here, but the entire time target priority was just bullcrap. Absolute garbage.
Help him, let's go, We can...
This is a pretty aggressive positioning here. That was a nice melee cancel. So your D.Va's doing a good job here. I don't think she has to. Oh, Winston as well. Oh, Winston, not D.Va. Alright, alright. This is pretty aggressive. You really don't want to be here because it's way too easy for the enemy team not to punish you and then stagger the point. I mean, that's obvious. But, like, this area as a whole is hard to defend simply because the sightlines for you, especially as a flanker, are really crappy. Like, there is really nowhere you can hide without using all 3 of your blinks to escape, which means if you need all 3 of your blinks to escape from this section, then you're going to have, you know, no blinks to juke, or so any damage you take is going to instantaneously put you in danger. So, like, look at where you are now. Like, you need to disengage. Genji Blade. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, can I make another PSA about this kind of crap from your Genji? I think nano blading or whatever. When you force a play outside enemy spawn like this, you're making 2 mistakes. So first off, on defense, your job is to waste as much of the enemy time as possible, right? You wait for them to come all the way to the point, initiate, and then you kill. 2 reasons, like I said, waste as much time as possible. But the second reason is important too. The second reason is, anyways, this is a GM tracer. The second reason is that you need to wait for the enemy team to use cooldowns before you use yours. If the Winston, you know, tracer, they come to the point and they jump on, or the Ana tries to sleep or whatever on a tracer pressuring her, and then you nano blade, that's successful because now that there's fewer cooldowns to deal with, right? But when you blade outside their spawn, they're going to have everything. They're going to have everything to boop, counter stun, boop, smash. I just said boop twice. Anything to deal with that. So it's no surprise if this Genji blade fails utterly, because this Genji is a moron. Hey, look at that. Backline's cool. Backline's cool. But again, like, do you see how difficult this process is for you? See how, like, out of the way Ana is? And see how exposed you are getting here? You even, and also, did we use our last blink here? We used our last blink here. Not a fan of that, but it looked like we were being pressured. Like, we're forcing a play here. Like, we're forced, like, don't. This is just, as a whole, really crappy from everybody on your team now. It's too late. It's too late. Oh, that D.Va bomb's gonna screw people up. And here's why, because it's gonna, here's what happens with the D.Va bomb here. Even if it doesn't get a single kill, it's gonna force people who are already out of position into even worse out of position spots, because they're gonna have to split and hide behind corners, and then the team is gonna punish it. So I would not be surprised if you see this light up with red in the next 10-15 seconds because of the out of position targets. All right, so we need to get out of here. Tracer's on us, Ana's turned around, Lucio's turned around. We've actually drawn a lot of attention. Wow, okay. So the error of the enemy team here is actually chasing you, because you were really no serious threat to your Ana. You drew 3 supports attention, or 2 supports and a tracer, and then nobody actually follows up in the D.Va bomb. Incredible. GM continues to be a cesspool of people that think they're good but are not. That's super toxic. I'm not even a GM player myself. Borderline. Alrighty. So, what did we do here? Why did we win that fight? Well, we honestly won that fight by ourselves because we distracted the entire enemy team. But we did so in an extremely risky fashion that was extremely unnecessary. Like, you were not a risk to that Ana. By the way, this skin is literally just Satan himself. You were at no, like the Ana had cooldowns. The Ana was near a mini health back. And simply having Lucio peel back would have been enough. So the fact that the Tracer followed through meant that their tank line was unsupported, not only with heals, because the Ana was distracted for far too long and chased after you, but also they didn't have the damage follow through with their Tracer. So you kind of carried here accidentally. Your melee cancels are really nice. You need to know your blink distance very well. So that's a plus. You also are pretty much outclassing this Tracer consistently again and again. So this is important. Yes. Unlucky. You were too far away. Your blink obviously was... I knew as soon as you're going to do it, you're like, you're about 2 feet too far away. This would have gotten you landing the pulse. Or, nope. Did you pulse into the blink? What messes up here? Are you just too far away? Or did you blink too slow? Yeah, you blinked too slow. I don't... You might have stuck it if you blinked earlier. So you know, obviously the Q blink, the Q blink animation cancel. Obviously, you tried to do it there, but I think you blinked too slow. Either that, or you were just a foot off. This is still early though. Like we just talked about this last fight where you want to use, you know, cooldowns once the enemy team has used theirs. Now we have seen their tanks use them, but their Ana and their Brig are really in no position to contribute anything here. Because the second that their team drops off the high ground or puts pressure on the point, you know, they're out of the line of sight of their support. So they're probably not going to do that. They're probably going to stay on the high ground, poke around a little bit, play, you know, tickle me Elmo, and then they're going to commit to it. And that's when you want to be getting the stick here. You want to drag this out as long as possible. Every 10 seconds, 15 seconds that you can get out, that's good. I like your stick target. I like your stick mechanics. I think you messed it up, but you obviously had in mind what you're supposed to do. So I won't pick on your execution, which just needs practice. But I'm going to pick on your decision. Like your Genji, you're forcing a play too early. And now it's all on you. It's not like you trying to assist your Genji, like which might have been the case before. This is just you, and just you is making a poor decision. Recalling is real feels bad, man, too. Like, do you see how many like now you have nothing. You have nothing. And you forced to play too early. So, like this is a concern right here. Do you see this? This is the most concerning part about this entire thing. You guys see what I see? This is concerning. Why is this concerning? Well, like I said, the fact that the Winston is here and not on the point just cements my point that this play was forced. Their tanks and team were there to peel back instantaneously, which means that they were not actually initiating. They were not engaging. Okay, they were too. The proximity was way too close. Right? Okay. Is that even a proper term? I feel like close proximity is not grammatically correct. Please do not go after that Winston. Risky. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I am, you know, obviously, you know, your melee, your blink usage here was excellent. This is a really risky play, but you executed it cleanly. The blink there was nice. But this is good. This is like you could trade your Ana here. You could trade your Ana here. You could afford to lose people in defense. I'm going to pause in just a second to read chat because I've not done enough of that. How do we get comboed? How do we get comboed? What are you doing? What on earth are you doing? You don't push staggers this far, especially when, you know, the entire team is here. What are you? Did you think you had pulse bomb? What the heck? Did we just demote ourselves? Did we just? Are we in bronze now? Hello? And you walk into a brig? You had recall. You walked into her. What are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, you thought you recall. Oh, you did. You recall. I think you did recall, didn't you? Let's see this. Yeah, you press the button, but the animation, the initial animation was off. So, yeah, it sucks, but you were so slow on that recall, too. You had a good second to react to that, too. Yeah, at least a second to react to that. And what are you doing here? Why are you here? Why are you forcing this play? No, stop it.
Okay, where are you going to go from?
I don't care about Sombra. I legitimately don't care about your Sombra. Okay, we go off of Sombra? Question mark? Okay.
They just used Brig armor pack.
That was hilarious. Did you see me on it? That was actually.
Top off, thank you. Coffee.
Dash is off cooldown, and then I rubber banded.
Where are they coming from? Where are they coming from?
Yikes. We gotta watch that cooldowns, mate. We gotta watch the cooldown. Like, I know it's visually confusing, but we always have to be aware of who's looking at us, especially when we know that they have still, I assume they still have a Brigitte, right? Yeah, they still have a Brigitte, right? So, like, you gotta be looking at who's close, because you're, like, dangerously close to Shield Bash. and you didn't even notice that she was looking at you briefly here, and then we get hit by sleep. So, I'm by being nitpicky, yes, but you're also GM, so we can do better. I'm surprised the Ana didn't try and combo you, even with, you know, with recall available. Just a little surprised that she didn't at least force out the. Very nice. Okay, ignore it. Go for the Ana. Go for the Ana. Go for the Ana. Nice melee, dude. I really am a fan of your melees. Please stop getting killed by the Brigitte. Please stop. Like, you go from these, like, here's your Tracer gameplay. You ready for this? You do this. You go like, like, you go from, like, absolutely butchering a Lucio. Like, absolutely disrespecting the man. Like, that's a nice kill. We got more damage than that, too, right? Am I missing something? Yeah, we did. Yeah, that was quality stuff. Good stuff. You know, you quick back out here. Great accuracy into a disgusting melee cancel. Like, landing it perfectly. And then you get hammered by a Brigitte behind. And you're just like, oh, what? Nano Brig? I've got recall, but who needs the recall? Like, come on, man. Come on. Come on. If your team loses this here, it's your fault.
I'm just
Oh my gosh, dude. Does your team actually lose this? Oh, dude. Did you actually avoid Ignite? Who's Ignite? The Brig? The guy who lost. Did you actually rage Void? Or did you suit because he was garbage at Tracer? Okay, we'll watch a bit more. But I think your decision making with your Tracer is definitely you're forcing plays, you're peeling for tanks, and then just mindlessly dying to a Brig for absolutely, like, there's no justification for that. Yeah, okay. Let's see what we do. We need to scout what they have ASAP. Orisa and Torb. We need to farm up Pulse. Or this. I like it. Nice sleep, Ana. Nice sleep, dude. Nice sleep. Sure. Pulling Diva away is very acceptable. And you gotta think here. So this is good. This is an educational moment for everybody, because you're doing something that I think is really important. You are forcing Diva to come after you. Now, most people would look at that and say, oh, it's a 1-for-1 trade, right? But it's not. And the reason for that is in terms of ult 2 versus ult, you farm more ult off of the Diva than the Diva farms ult off of you. Now, the Ana can obviously heal up the Diva, but that's another problem. Whereas maybe the ult versus ult actually gets a green light, because if the Ana is able to heal up the Diva, then it kind of evens itself out. The additional problem is that you demand 0 resources and time. So resources and time versus resources and time, where the Diva demands a lot. So Tracer here gets a yellow. Well, actually, we'll give her a green, because she demands nothing, right? She demands nothing. You grab a health pack, you're completely self-sustaining, right? Whereas Diva gets a red, or we'll just give her, we'll give her a black, because she requires a lot. She's going to require a lot of healing against a good Tracer who's hitting the crit hitbox a lot. So what this means is Ana, who's being full dove up here, not only has to worry about staying alive, has to worry about healing her team that's being full dove, but also about healing her Diva who's getting deleted on the point. You see how this creates a dilemma that really can't be solved easily, right? So this is excellent. Thank you. Be very careful. That was a little bit of a... Oh, did you get body shot here? Yeah, you got body shot. So you were shot. So early recall, that's fine. I have no problem with this recall whatsoever. Like, just her melee cancels are fantastic. Really liking your melee cancels. Beautiful. And that all starts with you. That all starts with you. That starts with you putting point pressure, pulling Diva, farming it more, getting more resources devoted to you than you devoted to, that you took away from your team's pressure. So that was excellent. Alrighty. How do we muff this up? Your Diva takes forever to die. Yikes. This is an interesting decision. Why are we here? What is the play here? to waste time because you're doing a lot of that.
Yo, Anna.
Okay. Either you commit to the fight with ults in a 5v6, which I'm not a fan of, or you reset and you wait for your diva. You don't do either. You basically give the enemy team an opportunity to kill you for no reason whatsoever because you don't actually go for an elimination. You don't go for pressure. You sit there and play patty cake. And on attack in 2CP, you cannot ever afford to do this. Again, your decision making here is poor.
Yeah, I did.
Why are we again? What was the point of that right there? You go for the pulse bomb stick, or you get out of there. You stop wasting time. Now you go. Our pulse bombs need a lot of work. So this is the third pulse bomb we've muffed. Nice. Stop shooting the Winston. Stop shooting the Winston. Stop shooting the Winston. Stop shooting the Winston. There is a Hanzo in spawn who you could spawn camp and completely kill easily. Or you could kill the Winston that literally everybody else on your team is killing, who is at, you know, like 1,000 miles away. Like, there's still targets there to shoot. Why are you shooting this target into a bubble? And that demands 2 blinks and a recall, because once more, the targets that were actually threatening you and that you could actually do with handily are left uncontested. And now you're dead. Or whatever, the fight's over. Either way. Soldier 76, I don't give a crap about you, Soldier 76. Don't give a crap. Don't give a crap. Okay, that's all I need to see. So, Mr. What's your name again? Mr. What's your name? Mr. What's your name in Discord? Rab. Mr. Rab. Tracer. You have immense strengths with your aim and your blink usage was pretty good. Your aim was good. And your melee cancels are great. But you are abysmal at pulse bombs. You peel too much. And your decision making in terms of initiations are initiations. Why am I having such a hard time spelling that? Initiation timing is abysmal, and this goes for both your defense and offense. You go in when your team's not ready. You force plays at their spawn and at chokes, instead of waiting for them to commit, and then you get punished for it. Either that, or you just simply don't do anything at all, right? That is an error that is not, I cannot look over. This is what you need to work on. This is it. This right here. And in terms of which one of these, actually we need to highlight. Don't. In terms of which one of these, I'd probably start with this one. Peeling, don't peeling, and this two, and then just practice this when you get the time to. But, alright, we're done. Moving on to the next VOD.